So in a few moments we'll be listening from our keynote speaker, Roy Harley. He's here in the venue right now, so let's just see what he's got to say about his sermon.
Hey everyone, totally frothing to talk to you about life to the full for every surfer.
Okay, that's enough from Roy.
Okay.
And we're going to go check in with Eric to see how he is doing on shaping our surfboard.
Try some of this. The South Africans call Milo mush.
Ew. No. Sorry.
Come on, try some.
No, that is really disgusting.
It's actually quite good.
Oh, what? That even smells bad. Ew. Well, well, we can't put it off any longer, but it's Roy Harley's time to do his keynote preach.
Yes, it will be life-changing.
More like never-ending.
Let's just see it.
Hey, so I'm so excited to be sharing with you today on life to the full. It's from John 10:10, and Jesus says, I came that you would have life and have it to the full. Now, a little bit about my background. I grew up in a church that was pretty traditional, and the beautiful stories my granddad used to tell me didn't really tie up with my Sunday incarceration in Sunday school. Or the fact that drums are from the devil, or if you played the electric guitar, it was something about being demon possessed. But the thing that I was most afraid of was the baptismal font, because anyone who goes into that seemed to come out as if they were baptized with lemon juice. And then comes this verse where Jesus says, I came that you would have life and have it to the full. Completely changed my world, and I'm going to tell you about that. Just got to go put these boards on the car. Life to the full is all about amazing grace, and amazing grace is Jesus personified. Now, you know, if I came to you and I said to you, I'm going to give you a free surfboard every month for the rest of the year, you'd have a good reason to doubt me. But if Des Sawyer came to you and said he'll give you a free surfboard, or Al Merrick said he'll give you a free surfboard every month for the rest of the year, you should believe them, because they have the ability, the knowledge, the know-how, and the resources to do that. And that's what's so amazing about John 10:10. It's not just anyone saying I came to give you life to the full. It's the author of life himself, Jesus personified. Amazing grace coming down to earth and saying, I want to give you life and life to the full. And that's amazing. Okay, Grommies. Oi, what are you doing here? Oh my gosh. Nathan, Kaylin, we've got to go surfing. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. You know, sound's very important when you're born blind. And this whole story of John 10, where Jesus says, I came to give you life, is predicated on a man who's born blind. Can you imagine what that was like in those days? Not having anything, never seeing a mom smile, never seeing a color, all of those things that are normal, but beyond that, the cultural implications. People thought he was a sinner, or maybe his parents were sinners. Can you imagine being 5 years old and being told that you can't go and play with that friend of yours next door because his parents don't want you to? Or maybe you had a conversation with a girl at 14 and you really liked her, but you could never marry her. You could never be part of anything that was significant like that. And even more important, you could never ever get a job. You would have to beg. And so this man is begging at a place called the Pool of Siloam. And the reason that he's doing that is because if anyone touches him, they become unclean. This guy has figured it out. Sitting at that pool, if someone touches him and becomes unclean, they can go and wash their hands. At that moment, his disciples ask, who sinned, this man or his parents? And Jesus takes some mud, spits on the ground, rubs it on the guy's eyes. Can you imagine what that felt like? It must have been pretty weird. Like suddenly someone's putting mud on your eyes. But then he goes and washes. And amazing grace, how sweet the sound of Jesus' hands and feet as he walks away, and this man can see. That's amazing. That's amazing grace. That's life to the full. But this reminds me of a story. We'll call him Andrew. He was a good friend of mine. Andrew was an amazing guy. He had worked so hard for everything that he got. Andrew was at college with me. He studied, he met this wonderful girl full of fire and passion, and it wasn't long before they got married. He moved away after we graduated to go and start a little business. He started in a street store. Before long he had grown that to a beautiful business in the town. And then one day he came to visit me. He was really sad. Something just seemed wrong. And when I asked him what happened, he said, "Roy, I keep having this dream. I'm looking out over this beautiful field with this amazing sunset. Everything in front of me belongs to me. I feel like a king with my queen next to me. And then this stuff creeps across the little fields and vineyards until it grabs hold of me and destroys me." And you know, what's so interesting is, sadly for me, I had to bury Andrew. He died from an overdose of heroin. And to this day, I can't understand what happened. How did he get from that moment to the point where he had lost everything to this vicious drug? You know, the thief comes to steal and kill and destroy. It doesn't start big, it starts small. That little bit of lie, that little bit of a fudging of your tax return, that little bit of pornography, that little bit of drugs. And it carries on right the way through. The only thing that gives me any kind of hope is that I know that Andrew knew Jesus. And although the thief killed him, it didn't destroy him. And there by the grace of God go I. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. What do you think, guys? You want to just go have a quick proper look. There's two kinds of wretches. As much as we talked about Andre and all the struggles that he had, and as we could identify with that, there's also the religious hypocritical wretch. On the one hand you got religion and hypocrisy, and on the other hand you got hedonism and selfishness. And both of those don't lead to a life to the full. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. And that's where it gets really interesting, because the whole of John chapter 10 is Jesus dealing with religious wretches and telling them that he's the good shepherd who comes to find his sheep. If you're lost, you can't be found. You've got to have somebody who comes to find you. We're not used to getting lost today. We have cell phones and GPS. But when you are truly lost, you're really at the mercy of somebody else. And that's what's amazing, because life to the full is the King of glory, the one who made us, coming to find us. And he calls us, like the good shepherd, to follow him.
Church sucks. Are you here tomorrow?
Okay. Not today. Well, surfing was a bust today, but it looks like we're going to have some fun tomorrow. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. And that's where this whole story of life to the full lands. It goes full circle. You see, if you go back and you read, what actually happens is the man who is born blind gets kicked out of the synagogue, which he wasn't allowed in the first place. And then right in the middle of the text, it's almost forgotten, Jesus goes and finds him. And when he finds him, the man falls down and worships. How amazing is that? Here you have a man born blind who sees Jesus and recognizes that not only is he the one who healed him and gave him sight, but he is the architect of life. He is the good shepherd. He is the one who wants to give us life to the full. And ironically, you've got a religious, hypocritical group of guys who just cannot see that Jesus is the good shepherd who offers us life to the full. And so in there is the surface gospel. It's amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. Life to the full. Phew!